My grandfather built that workshop with his own hands, board by board, back when this town still had more sawmills than coffee shops. He restored old furniture, chairs with broken spines, dressers that had survived 3 generations of families, tables that carried more memory than wood. When he passed, he left the shop to whoever in the family wanted to keep it alive. I was in nursing school at the time, drowning in shifts and exams, so my cousin Dana stepped in. She said she'd always loved the smell of varnish and sawdust that it reminded her of. Summers spent there as kids, I believed her. I had no reason not to. For 4 years, I trusted her completely. Every few months, she'd send me updates: slow season, the economy's rough on small business, we're barely breaking even. I never asked to see the books. Why would I? She was family. She was the one who showed up every single day while I was busy building a career 2 hours away. I sent her money more than once when she said the shop needed a new sander or the roof was leaking. I never once thought to ask for a receipt. The first crack in that trust didn't come from a bank statement or a lawyer's letter. It came from an old man named Mr. Renner, who walked into a diner where I was having lunch one Sunday, recognized me from a photo Dana had posted years ago, and sat down across from me like we were old friends. He told me he'd bought a rocking chair from the shop last spring, my grandfather's rocking chair, the one with the hand-carved armrests that used to sit by our fireplace. I froze. That chair wasn't for sale. It was never supposed to leave the family. Mr. Renner said he paid $1,200 for it, cash, and Dana told him it was surplus inventory. The family didn't want any more. He said he almost didn't buy it because something about the way she rushed the sale felt off, like she wanted the money in her hand before anyone could ask questions. I sat there with my fork halfway to my mouth, feeling the floor tilt a little. I thanked him, paid for his coffee, and drove straight to the shop without calling ahead. Dana wasn't there when I arrived, but her apprentice was a quiet 19-year-old named Leela who'd been sweeping sawdust in the back corner for the past year. I asked her, as calmly as I could manage, if she'd ever seen family pieces get sold. She hesitated so long I thought she wasn't going to answer at all. Then she told me about a cedar chest, a mirror with a hand-painted frame, and a set of dining chairs, all sold quietly over the past 2 years, all cash, all never logged in the shop's official sales book. She said Dana kept a separate notebook in the bottom drawer of the workbench, one she never let anyone else touch. My hands were shaking by the time I found it, page after page of sales that never matched what she'd told me. Numbers that didn't add up to barely breaking even. They added up to enough money to cover a private school tuition 3 towns over, which I only learned later was exactly where her son had transferred the year before. I didn't confront her that day. I needed time to understand what I was even looking at, because betrayal from a stranger is easy to accept, but betrayal from someone who held your hand at your grandfather's funeral is a different kind of pain entirely. It sits in your chest and doesn't move. When I finally called her, my voice came out steadier than I expected. I asked her directly about the rocking chair. There was a long silence on the line, the kind that tells you everything before a single word is spoken. She said she'd meant to tell me that money had gotten tight, that her son needed a better school after struggling for years, that she was going to make it right eventually. I asked her how many other pieces were gone. She didn't answer that question. She just kept apologizing, the same 3 or 4 sentences on repeat, like she'd rehearsed them for a moment she always knew might come. We met in person 3 days later in the shop, surrounded by the pieces she hadn't sold yet. I brought the notebook. I laid it on the workbench between us like evidence in a trial neither of us wanted to be part of. She cried. I think I'd used up all my tears in the days before, alone in my car outside Mr. Renner's house, staring at a chair that used to be my grandfather's and now belonged to a man I'd never met. I told her I wasn't going to involve the police, not because she didn't deserve consequences, but because I didn't want our family torn apart in a courtroom over furniture, no matter how much that furniture meant. Instead, I asked her to step away from running the shop, to repay what she could over time, and to be honest with her son someday about how his tuition had really been paid. She agreed to all of it quietly, like someone who'd been waiting years to finally put the weight down. I run the shop myself now, some weekends and most holidays, alongside a full-time nursing job that leaves me tired in a way I don't mind. Leela still sweeps the same corner, though now she keeps the books too, out in the open, nothing hidden in any drawer. I never got the rocking chair back. Mr. Renner offered to sell it to me at cost when he found out the truth, but I told him to keep it. It felt wrong to buy back something that should have never left in the first place, and somehow, knowing it sits in a home where someone genuinely loves it feels like its own kind of ending. Dana and I still speak, carefully, the way people do when trust has to be rebuilt one small brick at a time instead of handed back all at once. I don't know if we'll ever be exactly what we were, but I know my grandfather built that shop to outlast all of us. And for the first time in years, it finally feels like it's being taken care of the way he intended, honestly and out in the light.